All right, so I just saw Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. That, that movie hurt my heart. Hurt my spirit. Hurt my soul. Made me feel. Makes me feel. I feel heavy, heavy-hearted, heavy-souled, heavy-spirited. um, to me, and I'm sure some people just see it as a movie, and it is just a movie. But that movie, to me, is one of the most complex depictions of race in America, in our cultural differences. I hate the word racism. I've learned to hate it because there's only one race, the human race. And you either have, I call them ECMs or ECAs. I don't call people racist. Only one race. There's another alien race, comes down here, starts trouble, akin to what goes on to blacks and whites. Then it might be racism between an alien, and humans. I call them ECMs, ECAs, ethically challenged motherfuckers or ethically challenged assholes. So there are those people in the world. And this movie was the most was an allegory to me for ethically challenged people in America. And yes, there's ethnically challenged issues everywhere, all over the world. But I don't live all over the world. I live in the United States of America. And as someone might be prone to say, blacks and whites, specifically blacks, don't have the patent on racism. We always make it about us. That may be true. Um, that's because we're black. I don't. I can't speak on the issues. I don't think any black person can, unless maybe they're married to someone of another culture, can speak on the issues of the Native American. Other than to say, I feel what you're feeling. I know what you went through. But when people say blacks don't have the trademark on being oppressed, that's true. That's true. But I can only speak for my people. I can only speak for the experiences I've seen and the experiences I've experienced. So no, we don't have the trademark, but we seem to get fucked over the most. Um, and the reason that is such a thing in America is because of the history of America, which not everyone chooses to see. I mean, it's, again, racism, because I can't say ECM, ECA, because it's too long. The ethnically challenged issue, ECI issue. So it just calls it racism for shits and giggles. The problem of race and racism in America is ingrained in her DNA from the time she got established. And some people know that, some people ignore it, some people choose not to see it. This country is stolen. It's founded on lies, stolen from the Native Americans and named after an Italian, Amerigo Vespucci. So all these people who are like, take back the country, take back my country, the whole illegal immigrant thing, is just like, how can you not possibly see the hypocrisy of what you are fighting against, what you are railing against? But the movie, an allegory for race, I was like crying half the movie, tears, welling up. I wasn't even checking for this movie at all on my radar. I mean, not at all, but when I just saw apes on the horses, and I was like, this looks so stupid. And it still looks stupid a little bit, but that was the most edifying depiction of class, culture, and race, and all the complexities therein that I have seen in cinema concerning, to me, because I am black, blacks and whites, in a long time. I can't, there's either movies about the suffering of blacks or white people coming to help the blacks in their time of suffering. Excuse me. But yeah, I'm like, the Butler, 12 Years a Slave. It's all about the low points of our storied history. Um, the help. That's just the bad side. That's the low side. That's the crappy side that we see. I don't know where all the. I mean, some people, some parts of society want to get rid of Black History Month. Okay, Roger that. If Hollywood makes all the positive stories of black inventors and inventions and creators and scientists and medical professionals, even back historically all the way to Nat Turner, if Hollywood can find someone to make medium budgeted films to tell all the stories of Black History Month and put them on celluloid, put them on film, which lasts forever, we could get rid of Black History Month because they'd be on film and somebody could just pop it in. I mean, they'd still be in books or what have you, but we wouldn't have to have a month anymore. Okay, but Hollywood won't make those movies, and it's not all the black power moguls who are in control, who have a little bit of say, who have a little bit of money in their studios. They don't spend money on the stories that need to be told, the positive stories, our contributions to history. They don't tell those stories, so they put out dreck and shit like the Real Housewives and the Tyler Perry stupidity. Just the lowest common denominator of the caricatures and stereotypes of blacks. No one wants to make important films, black films, that would last, and then you wouldn't have to have Black History Month anymore. But Amistad, that was a bad. Rosewood, that was bad. Never anything good. A discussion. It was like that movie Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was a discussion if you chose to see it on just the delicate and incendiary link between blacks and whites, historically and currently, and possibly future tense, if we don't fix what's going on between blacks and whites. And again, why just blacks and whites? Everyone has issues. Roger that. Talking about America, which is founded, which is based, which is intricately, innately, racism is ingrained in the DNA of America. So that's why I speak on that. Yes, everyone has issues. I know that. I'm not Chinese. I'm not Native American. I'm not Korean. I know everyone has these issues. I'm speaking to black and white issues because I am black. And the issues that seem to permeate the news and everything else here in America is black and white. So, but the apes and the human beings, man, it was, I don't know. It won't be a full out race war like there was. See, that was racism because those are apes, animals, and human beings. That was a race war. Um, a big black and white war, something that would come to a head, that would push us all to, the brink of madness. It's a possibility. Anything's a possibility. But to stop us from ever getting anywhere near that movie, it shows you the ins and outs of. It's just like blacks and whites. We don't honestly discuss race. Things are gonna get heated, tempers and are gonna flare, and that's fine. Just as long as it doesn't come to fisticuffs. Everyone's gonna get heated. It's a touchy hot potato, and that's fine. Anything worth discussing that is important as a problem to getting over, it's not going to come easy. But the thing is, and that movie shows it perfectly, we two cultures have to talk, and we two cultures need to deal with our own self reflection as far as, do blacks do everything? Do we blacks do everything that we can to better ourselves and make ourselves seem better in society? Do we need to, blacks need to stop killing each other? Because that the big point of one of the big tenets of that movie was apes don't kill apes. That should be a tenet in black society, but it's not. And Chicago, perfect example. Just inner city youth and the stupidity. And then there's the other, it's a whole bunch of facets. There's the other side of that where those people in the inner city, because I don't know anything about them. I'm a suburban raised kid. I always had a relatively good life, education, what have you. I haven't lived in the ghetto. I'm not from the streets or from the hood. I've seen them. I've spent time in them, but I didn't live there. But they multifaceted. They don't see anything better in that life, but you have to, so that you can get out of that life. But a lot of times we blacks hold each other back, hold each other down when you try to do better. The apes were trying to, Caesar was trying to bridge the gap, trust. That might be what a black person might do, a community organizer, whoever. Should reach out to the whites. You got to. They're the gatekeepers. They hold all the purse strings, just to get stuff done. And then somebody black in your community is gonna be like, "You're a sellout. You're trusting them. You're going to them more than us." Just like the ape Koba, you know, you like the humans more than us. No, but we have to reach across the aisle to fix issues, to solve these problems. Black and white's gonna have to work together, and that's gonna be hard to do. It's not gonna happen if somebody within your own ranks, whether it be someone within the black community, going, "Hey, why are you always reaching out to the white people? Keep it in the whatever, keeping it in whatever is not working." We have, as much as a black person may have to do it, you got to reach across and put your faith in people to solve issues. Somebody in a white camp might be like, "There's no use in wasting your time helping the black people. They want to be helped." That's the person that's not going to let the white people reach across the aisle, reach out to black people, and them solve whatever issue that is there. Some white person got mugged by a black person, so now they don't trust any black people. That's fine. That's perfectly rational. Fair, maybe? No. Rational, yeah. If it's happened repeatedly, or if the one incident was traumatic enough where, okay, now I don't trust anybody of that kind. Roger that. That person within the ranks sow seeds of just mistrust and confusion. And so within that camp, the whites never reach out to the blacks. The black people saying, "Oh, they're always going to betray us because they have historically." It's not going to let them, and that happens. They're not going to let the black people reach across to the white people and solve the issue. And that's exactly what was happening in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, man. And it's switched. Like the apes, were the black people, and at one point the apes were the white people, and the humans, they were white, but at one point, just the sides of cultural superiority, inequality, they flipped back and forth between the humans and the apes. And it was just a powerful statement, the most powerful statement I've ever seen, which is crazy. And well, not really, because it's sci-fi, but sci-fi has always been about diversity and accepting different people. But it really spoke to me on the black and white issue, because it's it's not over. It it won't be over until, just like Caesar did with the dude, we have to sit down and observe, not observe. We have to be respectful of each other's cultures. There's bad parts to everyone's culture, white and black. There's some things we see in each other's cultures and we're like, "What the hell? Why do they do that?" And that's fine. Cultures do things differently. We just have to accept it. And you can laugh at it, you can remark at it and be like, that's weird. Move on about your business. Don't let it define how you think about them. And if you have a question, sit down and talk about it. But blacks and whites don't sit down and talk about it. And I don't know, Koba, that dude, man, he's just like, Koba's like, I don't know, the Tea Party, the Republicans, these illegal immigration people. I don't know. I forget which side is right and which side is left, but it's like the side that just doesn't. It hates blacks, poor, Latinos. Koba is that institution of the United States of America that hates blacks, hates poor, hates what they deem as inferior, don't want to help them, leave them alone. And like, Caesar is Obama. I don't know. He wants everyone to get along, but it's just not going to happen. Caesar's the Democrat. He wants everyone to get along. And Koba's a Republican. Like, no, I don't know. Koba's the side of America that doesn't want anything to change. But then again, Koba's also the black people because he had they scarred him, which is what America has done. And that's where it switches. Koba can be the white people. Koba can be the Republicans. Then he switches, and he's also the black people because we've been scarred by the white man, so we don't trust the white man. But at some point, you have to put that in a box and try to reach across the aisle. God, I hate that freaking term. You got to try to reach out with the olive branch and trust the other side. So Koba goes back. The hate that is in Koba, the fear that's in him, goes both ways, black and white. He's black. He's the black people and the white people at different times in history. Mistrust, fear, not wanting to negotiate, not wanting to talk about it, not wanting to discuss it. And Caesar is like, Caesar's both sides too. He's white people who might want to discuss it, but then white people are like, oh, the blacks are just killing themselves. Let them, for fuck them, whatever. And then Caesar's the black people like, yeah, man, white folks done this wrong, but we got to reach out. We got to try and trust them again. So Gary Oldman, he's that radical Tea Party domestic terrorist motherfucker that's just like, it's worth killing everybody because, I guess they had killed his family because he was looking through the iPad or whatever. But spoiler alert, sorry. But I'm discussing something bigger. But it's like he blew up everybody just so like his hate, that just killed, whatever reconciliation might happen. The dude Kirk Acevedo, who was the one who first shot the apes at the beginning. That reminds me of like, okay, so at that point the apes were the Native Americans. Here comes the little hunter hiker dude who is the fabled hallowed founder pioneer of America who shoots at the Indians, who gives them smallpox, who kills them, and then you're winging out, but you're like in their territory. You're in the woods. You're in the forest. That's where they are the natural denizens. You gonna come up in there and shoot them and be scared of them? You're on there, you can be scared, but just to act out like that and start shooting people and shit, or present day times, a lot of white people, you're freaked out by somebody black, so or a dude or what black dude's playing music too loud, so you shoot him in his car. In his car, he's playing music too loud, so you shoot him. Like that happened one time. Or some dude killed some black lady who was knocking on his door on his porch. Which, okay, that's his property, so give and take. But like, okay, someone's playing that music beside you. Move on. Okay, you see some apes that you're like, whoa, I'm freaked out. Move on. Don't escalate the situation, man. And that's what happens between blacks and whites. Escalation instead of, stopping and going, okay, there's something different here. Let's talk about it, or I'll just accept it and move on until there's a later point where we can talk about it. Um, that movie was all over the place as far as the discussion on race, and that was really powerful to me. That was one of the most powerful visual dissertations on race I've seen, and I don't know if anyone else out there in the world or in whoever might see this cinema, I don't know if they see that or just see a popcorn movie. I don't know. It was heads and tails awesome, better than anything I could have expected, but it was because of that. Excuse me, because of that that quotient of addressing race. It was a good movie too, but it also brought me in my mind to that next level of, wow, this should like be seen in every classroom or something, because we teach hate to kids when they're young. But that movie was awesome, and it hurt, but it was good. It hurt. You should go see it. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, probably one of the best movies of the year so far because of that.